Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to share my journey from applying for a job to getting hired and my first few weeks as a content manager. So if you're new to freelancing, this is for you. Let's start with how I found my high paying client, right? So I use this tool called Hiring.cafe. It's an AI powered platform that shows jobs from different freelancing sites. I'll share with you here. Okay. So just go to hiring.cafe and you will see this page right away. As you can see, this is AI powered because this is just a collection of different job posts from various websites. So the only downside is you might need to create profiles on multiple platforms. But here's a hack that I want to share. You just have to keep a document with all your information so that you're ready to copy and paste. It saves a ton of time, effort, and I call mine as a portfolio document. So those are my two tips when it comes to finding the job. First, you have to go to hiring.cafe because you will not be limited to just one website. For example, if I used to use the website onlinejobs.ph, but it's only one platform, and I noticed that most of the clients there are low ballers, meaning um, and the pay is not really good. But this hiring.cafe, they aggregate all the job postings from different websites into just one place. So it's a cool tool to use because you can have access to all the different job freelancing websites and all in one place. So that's good. And all you need to do is just prepare your portfolio document. So that's my tip. Create a portfolio document that has all the information about you. All right. Let me just show you how it looks like for me. So I already have a website showing my portfolio. So this is my website. It showcases all the projects that I've created for my previous clients, as you can see here. So it's my practice to collate and document all the tasks and all the success stories that I got from my previous clients. So if it's not your process documenting your success stories with your clients, you should start doing that right now. Even it's just a small win, you have to record it. All right. Just have one document. I used to have just only like a Google document of everything. So you can also start with that. And then you can develop your own website to showcase your portfolio. I'm using here Webflow. And this is actually just a free website that I created. So I'm not actually paying for this. I'm not paying using this Webflow. I'm just using their free tool. The free plan. And if you do not want, to have a website, you can use Notion. I also have here, I can share with you this template. This is my name, this is the title, and this is just a short description. And these are the career achievements. I already showed you my projects and case studies here on the website, but I also keep like a Notion, a document in Notion that has, my work experiences here. And I also keep track of the skills that I've been growing, and I make sure that I label it with if I am already an expert, intermediate, or etc. I can share with you this template inside our training platform, and I also keep track of the tools that I am familiar with, so that whenever I talk about um my skills. I can have a guide. And also, it's good to have this, right? Just one place. And then I also have here all the social media profiles that I have. So I will share with you this tool just so you have this portfolio document that you can use. All right. So going back to my journey, I applied to this one job. It's for a digital content manager position. The website that I have applied to is called Support Shepherd. This website I've actually found it using the Hiring.cafe, and this job description is perfect because it's complete, right? Let me just show you that here. Um, I'll just keep this here. All right. So this is the job description of this content manager role that I've applied for. Um, I got an email. So after I applied on Hiring.cafe, I've received an email saying that with all the details. So I like this format. It's complete. It has everything that I need to know. And as you can read, they want someone who can create killer newsletter content for the fintech industry. So just a quick explanation: fintech means financial technology. It's all about using the technology to improve financial services. So I also, it's very important, I just want to provide here, make sure that the job description overview is complete, and you have to verify if the job is a legitimate one. So, the first step, or the very first thing that I check, is I check the email who sent it. So, it says here Francine at supportshepherd.com. So, this supportshepherd.com, I've checked it if it is a valid website. So, let's just click here. I'll just go to a new tab, put here supportshepherd.com, and you will see Shepherd is now somewhere.com. Same company, new name. So this is, they rebranded their website. So it's a working website. The domain is correct. So it is a good sign, right? And then I have to read also the details of the company or the client that I'll be working with. So these are the details: Secretary of State, provide services, live data search, business. I also checked the company that, you know, that this agency is talking about. So make sure that you dig and research and make sure that the company that you're applying for is legitimate. So now, let's go to the interview process. So the interview process, I had three interviews actually. So first interview, and the first interview is very quick. It's just about my work experience. And but they also asked me to revise my resume. They provided the format. So let me show you um here. I think it's here. Yeah. So this is the format that they want. After the first interviews, they said it's nice getting to know me, etc., etc., and then they provided the format of the resume that they want. This is the resume that they will submit to the client. So yeah, they asked me to revise my resume a little bit. Now, this is very important that you follow the instructions carefully. All right. So I followed it, and then on the second interview, I had on my second interview, it's more about the salary discussion. They ask what's my rate, and they explained to me that this is an independent contractor role. It means that I am responsible for my own taxes and benefits like SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth. So make sure you factor this whenever you're considering for a job offer. If the company or if the agency is paying your benefits or not, then the pay should make up for it. So that's very important. And then the client interview came. I want to share with you a funny story. I had a dental accident the day before my client's interview. My front tooth was broken, but I didn't back out. My mantra when applying for a job is to give my very best and let God take care of the rest. So, although I have this broken tooth at the front, I mean it's not that bad, but my teeth in the front is cut in half. And of course, I was able to manage my confidence, although I'm feeling a little bit shy, but that's okay. The show must go on. And I told the client about my interest in AI and Chat GPT, and I think that what set me apart. But this is actually um, very important because the reason why I talked about AI and Chat GPT is when I research my clients or the potential clients company before the interview, I get familiar with what they do. So they are very technologically advanced, and I know that AI is hot topic. ChatGPT is a very hot topic during that time. I applied, I think September 2023. So that's the very first thing that you have to do. You have to do a background check, and you have to think about and be ready what you want to talk about when the client asks you, so tell me about your hobbies, or tell me, you know, what are your pastime or your hobbies, things like that. And of course, you want to talk about something you do for fun and also something you do that will make your client like you know? So I told the client that I love reading, I love watching tutorials, and my current interest right now is in ChatGPT, and that I am developing my own tools. I'm learning Python programming. So I talked about those things because I know that my client actually wants people who are who can easily understand their business, right? So that's very important. And then I also want to give you a pro tip how I got this client. I- And this is something that many people really do not understand because they came from the corporate background. When you're working on a corporate setup, you just need to know what's your company processes. And once you already know the process, you become stagnant, everything becomes repetitive. But when you become a freelancer, you have to stay on top of your learning, meaning you don't just get a job and live as if your client will stay with you forever, because they won't. I'll share with you three factors here why clients come and go in the freelancing industry. First factor is that most clients hire freelancers um, who I mean the most of the clients hiring freelancers are startups. So they are not big corporations, meaning their business model is not fully tested yet. So if a business is not running for more than 5 years or 10 years, their business model may not work and their business may fail in the next few years. So that's the first factor. Most of them are startups. Second factor is that there are lots of new technologies being invented in the world of digital marketing, especially in this age of AI. So clients want someone who can stay on top of everything and make sure that they are able to keep up with the current trends. Most of the clients, especially those people who are working in the digital marketing niche, most of these clients are dependent on their website traffic and social media platforms. That's where they get their sales. So whenever there are changes in SEO, there are, developing emerging marketing techniques, especially AI marketing strategies. And if there are different or new social media trends, they want someone who can help them learn these new strategies, who can learn these new technologies. So it's very important that you continuously hone your skills and that you're someone who's not afraid to learn something new, to try something new. And the third factor is the cost considerations. The client may want to hire someone cheaper. If, for example, in my case, I always say, or I tell my clients that I want yearly performance review. And of course, if we are reviewing my performance, I also want to review my salary. So my pay gets higher and higher every year. So that's one factor that you might want to consider. Um, we if your client wants to hire for a cheaper price, they will always choose the person who can do what you can do for a cheaper price. So the technique or the strategy is that you need to be irreplaceable, meaning every year that your pay raises, your skills and expertise should be improving as well. And this is very important for me, that I hone my skills and I always bring new or additional value to the business every year. So, those are my three super important tips. Now, let's go back. All right. So, after the client interview, they gave me a trial task to create a newsletter. So, this is where you need to shine. All right. On this trial task, I like that the client actually um paid for the trial task right away. So I provided my PayPal account right after the client interview. So make sure you have your bank account, your PayPal account ready. All right. PayPal is the most popular payment method for freelancers. So it's important that you set that up. Um, Now, during the trial task, I really went, I go for the extra mile. I didn't just create the newsletter, I made social media posts, blog posts, and even branding guidelines for the client. So I used ChatGPT to help me to create the copy. So it was a lot to do in a short time. So I prioritized my tasks and I actually worked a little late to get it all done because I only have 3 days to complete it. So every day, on that span of 3 days, I gave updates to my clients just so they know that I am the type of person who is very good at communication, that I provide updates, and that I always go the extra mile. So I can show you here the example of here. Yeah. So this is just an update. I'm actively working on the newsletter. I finished this initial draft. I also attach here the result of my research regarding your brand guidelines, writing guidelines, brand persona, etc. So I provided the branding guidelines to my client just so the client will see that I really understand their business. I asked ChatGPT to do this. So it's very easy. And once you already know how to use ChatGPT properly, I also studied prompt engineering. So I know how to communicate with ChatGPT and generate really good result like this type of branding guidelines. All right. And also, I did not create the branding guidelines just for the sake of, showing it to the client, but it's important for me to understand the business of the client. Even though even though I'm only working for a trial task, well, first the client paid for it. So, right, I should value the payment for that trial task, but also I want to show the client that I'm a type of person that will really provide everything and that I am an expert and that I am knowledgeable. So, although he's only asking for the newsletter, I created the branding guidelines. And I believe that you cannot create powerful content if you do not understand the business of the client. So, branding guidelines is very important. I have discussions regarding branding guidelines, so you need to watch that if you haven't. So, this is the final draft of my newsletter. So, I make it easy for the client. I didn't just attach the newsletter, although it's already attached here, but I want the client to just click and it will open right away. So this is the newsletter. As you can see, I followed the branding guidelines of my client. I only have here when I check their website, this is their logo. So I use the colors of their logo and I didn't go crazy with other colors. So, if you understand what makes a professional looking content, then you should also know what is branding guidelines, what is how are you going to create a professional looking a cohesive look for digital content. So, and then this is the blog post that I created for the client. I even have, you know, this gradient style of font color. I have here image. I have here, yeah, so it's beautifully created blog post. And I rep and then from the newsletter, I mean, from the blog post, I created 3 pieces of social media content. I created this using ChatGPT. It's very easy. So this is just a sample. This is just a screenshot, and the client really appreciated it. You will see his response here. This is really amazing. All of it. I'm very impressed. Thank you for doing this. I'm going to let Francine know my decision now. It's you. Thanks and have a great weekend. So I responded, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm really excited and happy. So I got the job, right? I was able to impress the client because I didn't just do the newsletter. I created something more because I wanted to wow the client. And I can give you lots of tips on how you can use chat gpt to make social media content, etc., but it's in the future videos. But I'm just showing you here that if you have a powerful tool like chat gpt, you can go extra mile for your clients, right? So and they will love you. My client loved what I did, right? And the agency sent me the contract. The client and I signed the contract, and then the agency, stepped out of the conversation. And then, yeah, I finally got hired. So the first thing the client did was set up my payment on Gusto. I like that. Settle the money stuff first, right? Um, instead of giving me the job right away and hey, just go start working and not talk about money, I like that the client actually set up my payment first, right? So in here, I got hired on September 26, 2023, and my first day will be on October 1st, 2023. But um, during from September 27th to September 30, yeah, during those times, I've researched my client. I was very um excited and preparing for my first day. And the client, I'm very happy that the client already shared my access to their Google Workspace and Slack. I'm very familiar with Google Workspace. I'm very familiar with Microsoft, but I like Google more. So I have to prepare for our kickoff meeting on October 1st. And the way I prepare for it is the SMM AAA. I have a discussion of this inside our training platform. You have to audit, accumulate, and analyze. First is you have to have the content inventory. I need, since this is fintech and this is very new to me, I need to read and watch what this client is, what is this client talking about in his YouTube channel, what his business is all about, so that I can better understand how to create the newsletter. So I created this. This is how I gather all the content that they've published. So I check their website, I've checked their blogs, and I've checked everything, even what comes up on Google if I type in their company. So I've checked everything. So that's the first thing that you have to do. You have to create a content inventory. And then, as much as possible, read and watch the videos of your clients. And then, after I created the content inventory, I have prepared for our meeting, for our kickoff meeting, the very first meeting with my new client. Of course, during the meeting, the client asked about my hobbies. And of course, I asked my client about his hobbies as well. And also, I asked questions that will help me understand the tactical triangle of the client, meaning where is he getting his traffic, what are his conversion rates, how much is he paying for his tools, or if we have like a team, so during this kickoff meeting, I found out that the client doesn't have much information since this is a fresh start for them in their digital marketing campaigns. So for the first week, I focused on understanding their current situation. What's their website SEO? What's their Google Analytics data? What's their newsletter performance? But I found out that they do not have an existing newsletter yet. So we're starting from zero. And their social media stats, it's almost zero, but he do have a YouTube channel, but the YouTube channel is not about his business. So it's like really we're starting from scratch. So this is challenging, but it's also exciting because I could build everything from ground zero up. And I like that. I like strategizing for my clients. So over the next few weeks, we we actually or I asked the client to um provide me the access, and then after I have access to the Google Analytics, I strategize the digital marketing ecosystem. What's the message framework? What's the definitive selling point or the unique selling point, and the content pillars. So I'm gonna show you the example of what I created for the client. So this is Notion. These are the marketing resources I have for the client. First is digital marketing ecosystem. This is just a simple illustration of how I want the different touch points for my clients and the different areas that I should be working on. In my previous tutorials, I've discussed social media marketing ecosystem, that there are different touch points, etc. So you should already know that. You should have studied that, so that when you work with your clients, you can map out the digital marketing ecosystem. You have to understand what's the customer's journey. I have to understand the customer journey of my client, so that I know what are the content, marketing content that I should focus on. And after I have a simple visualization of the digital marketing ecosystem. I refined the message framework. When we say message framework, these will show, you should be able to articulate the core offers and what the product is all about. So you should start with the first question: what do we offer and why it matters? So, on what we offer, you can provide two sentences. This secondary message about what you offer should show the product attributes, and the second message is about, you know um the secondary message of about your product attributes. And then for why it matters, you just talk about the product benefits. You should have at least two. And then what makes this statement true? So you just have to provide some more supporting sentences. So that's how you map out the messaging framework. First, you have to understand what are you offering and why is it important. And then you break out two supporting sentences. What is the offer about and why is it important? And yeah, you should build your message framework around that. If you're not able to articulate what your client is selling, then it's hard for you to create content for that client. All right. Also, I created this list of definitive selling points, or the unique selling proposition or unique selling points. This is very important for me to assess if the client's business model is actually good or not. For example, after I did the competitor analysis, I see that a lot of people or a lot of companies are already selling what he's selling. Then it's going to be tough, because if it's if the client is selling, just another product that people are already selling, then it's going to be difficult, right? Because it's a very competitive market. So if it is a competitive market, then it will be harder for you to sell your product. Good thing for this client, um, he already have a very good definitive selling point. Meaning the we have competitors, yes, but we have something that they do not have. And that's our unique selling point. And that unique selling point should be part of your message framework, and it should be part of every social media post content that you are publishing. And having identified your product, what's your selling point, then you can create your content pillars, your blog topics, content topics on social media, and the newsletter strategy. So it's important that you understand first the product, okay? And the very important thing here is you do the competitor analysis. I did what I did in analyzing or creating a content strategy is, after I did the competitor analysis, is I asked ChatGPT to analyze the top performing articles of our client. I believe I have here. I think I can show you. Yeah, I don't have it available right now, but I went to the website of our competitor and I checked what are their top articles and why the viewers or why their audience loved it. And so I can understand what are the type of content or blog topics or social media topics that I can create. So this helped me create a solid content strategy. And one challenge for me is to learn the new tools because Beehive is something new to me. I haven't used Beehive, but I'm familiar with Mailchimp, Active Campaign, but Beehive is something new, so I have to study it first. Now, 7 weeks, it has been really about content, about creating blogs, creating newsletters, and I also track every progress week by week. And I will share with you more of my process in developing the blogs, etc., inside our training platform. Okay, that's it.